Good evening, Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us this week on the Perry Thomas Show here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we visit with the head coach of Fighting Tiger football. Campbellsville goes on the road this past weekend, a long road trip, pick up a win over Ave Maria University. Coach, you knew this was a week that was going to come with its own set of obstacles and challenges. That long road trip down to Florida, a 2-day trip, staying in multiple hotels. Your team seemed to respond really well.
Yeah, I was really proud of our guys. It was a difficult trip. I mean, we traveled well, fortunately, and was decently comfortable, I guess. But, it was a long trip, and I was really proud of our guys. We're still a young team, and I didn't know how we would handle it, being on the road, staying at hotels for Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, driving 11 hours Thursday, it's another 7 hours Friday and so forth. But our guys handled it well. 10 o'clock kickoff didn't factor with us. Our guys recognized what was going on with that and came out ready to play. And, I thought defensively we started the game off strong. Offensively, it took a couple of reps, which is typical. And then once we got going, it was lights out for us.
Sports Information Director Jordan Alvis and I traveling down. Coach, we were at one of the hotels. He said he was downstairs around 6:30, 6:15, and I think your guys were already getting on the bus, making their way to the bus. That's as early as a football player ever wants to do that thing.
Yeah, it was early for the guys, no doubt about it. And fortunately, they got to sleep a little on the buses, and we had got them prepared for it. We went about 3 days. Last week at 6 a.m. Getting up, so they were on the field active at 6 a.m. or in meetings. So they were prepared for it, and we kept getting them out of bed early. Even on Friday morning, we got them up early to get breakfast in them and before we left and so forth. So I thought they showed a lot of maturity, a lot of leadership, stepped to the challenge of coming out prepared in what could be a difficult situation with not just with the travel, but also the 10 a.m. kickoff, and you in unknown surroundings, and it's kind of a weird situation. They don't have bleachers right now because of the hurricane, so everybody's in lawn chairs and music is right behind their ears blasting, but the guys did a great job.
The Tigers victorious 52-7. The final score as Campbellsville picks up their 6th win of the season, moving to 6-0 on the year, the first time since 1991, and that's kind of the year you're chasing at this point. It was an 8-0 start in 1991. The Tigers will look to keep the ball rolling as we take a look at the box score. Some of the numbers from that matchup with Ave Maria on the road. Hunter Brown with a typical Hunter Brown day at this point, 24 of 40, 323 yards through the air with 4 touchdowns. Keanu Young and Jordan Duff both tallying 7 catches. Keanu with 93 yards, a pair of touchdowns. Jordan Duff chips in 77 yards in a score. And then the defense, Coach, really good throughout the day. 163 yards allowed by the Tiger defense. They come up with 14 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And, just an observation from my point of view, it appeared in that first half that there were 1 or 2 plays Ave Maria, got off offensively, but that Tiger defensive front 7 was just tremendous throughout the day and really in that first half.
Yeah, I thought it was a matter of we was just more physical than they were. Same thing as Cincinnati Christian. That once we got into the game and got in the flow of things, I thought our guys just dominated them in that box. And when you do that, it makes it even tough to pass because you're going to get some sacks and you're disrupting the offense, and the defense can really tee off because they can't run. So I was very proud of our guys. I thought they stood up tall and did some really good things. And, offensively, last couple of games have been tough on some of the guys' stats. You look at Hunter Brown, he hasn't completed the game. We pulled him really early, the other night, and we pulled him the fourth quarter, I guess, against Cincinnati Christian. So it hurts our stats a little bit, but at the same time we need to protect those guys, and we were still able to move the ball and get some things done. So good overall performance. A couple of miscues here and there that you have to continue to fix, but overall very proud of the game.
And a few things we do want to touch on as we take a look at some of the scoring summary from that matchup, as well as a 21-point lead at halftime for the Tigers as Campbellsville had an early score in the ball game, and then also 2 second-quarter scores. But the third quarter, Coach, is really where this thing got opened up and stretched out. I think it was a 31-point third quarter. You see there Hunter Brown with a touchdown, B.J. Pelt a big 74-yard interception return, a field goal by Bradley Bates sandwiched in with a couple more touchdowns, Hunter Brown to Cruz Coulter, and then Wade Holtzclaw finished off the Tigers scoring their portion of the day with a 19-yard run, 52-0 the score at that point before Ave Maria is able to get on the board in the last 90 seconds or so with a 16-yard touchdown. But a couple of things there, Coach. One, we'll start. B.J. Pelt continues to do incredible things in the secondary. His 6th interception of the season, we mentioned it on the broadcast, that ties him for 2nd all-time single season for the Tigers with a host of other gentlemen. He's chasing a few Tigers now for that top spot with 7, but he's been phenomenal, and that play looked as if he knew what was coming out of that Ave Maria offense, and he was ready to go to the other, the other way.
Tremendous athlete. I mean, great nose for the ball. Played a little banged up, got some ankles banged up, but, still he looked sharp on that play. And, has 6 interceptions for the year, and I think he has a takeaway in every game, actually. Just getting phenomenal things done, and he's approaching that all-conference, all-American status when it comes to interceptions. I don't know if he would get that recognition, but you start getting up to 6 to 8 interceptions in a year, then that's something special. So he's certainly a special guy that's really stepped up for us in that secondary. And these last 3 weeks of the regular season, we're going to need him along with others to continue to play that way.
And another thing that we want to touch on, Hunter Brown. I don't want to use the term struggled. I don't think that's fair in the first half. I think the receivers had a couple drops and different things. But his 3rd quarter, I think he was 9 of 11, 113 yards, and a couple of touchdown strikes. Maybe as good after that layoff as we've seen Hunter Brown for a short period. He was incredible.
Yeah, I thought he got real sharp in that 3rd quarter. The first half we actually had a ton of drops, and some were bad balls, but most of the balls were pretty good, and we just dropped the ball for some reason. But 3rd quarter, I thought he looked sharp. The receivers looked sharp, and you can see the execution really improving in that quarter. And I thought, it was a 31-point quarter, which is tremendous in college football.
And the Tigers, we said, moved to 6-0. They've got the big matchup coming with Georgetown this coming week. That'll be homecoming here at home. And, Coach, you guys now, we talked about it before the ball game. You had that difficult road trip, but now you had to come home, and now this throws the week off, as we'll talk about Georgetown a little more later. But walk me through, the return trip, getting back home, getting rested up a bit, and then now the preparation.
Well, we left Saturday after the game and traveled back to Tifton, and then spent the night in Tifton, and left Sunday and rode the bus all day back home, and got back in at 6:30 or 7, which, typically by that time we've cleaned up the previous week's game, and we've already started going to work on the next opponent and getting things done, game plans together, and film broke down and editing done and all that good stuff. And so it put us behind getting back, at that time of the night on Sunday night with our preparation, and we actually canceled our 6 a.m. meeting with our guys on Monday morning so we could focus full-time on Georgetown and get ready to go. So, it changed our plans a little bit because of the long travel and so forth. And, I guess when you play those games, you can't avoid that. Hopefully we get to the point where some of that film breakdown we can do on the buses. We have Wi-Fi, but it's a little spotty. You need more hot spots. So, it's something to work on for the future. But, even though it put us behind, at least it was such a good victory for us that we had a comfortable ride home, and also we could move on to Georgetown pretty quickly.
The Tigers will do that this week as Georgetown comes to Tiger Town on Saturday afternoon. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, 2:01 Findlay Standard Time. We'll talk with Coach about that a little bit later on in the broadcast as Campbellsville moves to 6-0 on the season. We'll take a quick break, come back, and take a look around the Bluegrass Division here in the Mid-South Conference on the Perry Thomas Show.
Campbellsville Baptist Church, a church where all ages grow in the love of God. From children and youth worship to sports ministry and mission outreach, Campbellsville Baptist Church shares the love of God both in and outside of the sanctuary. Join us for worship on Sunday mornings at 9 and small group Bible study at 10:30. That's Campbellsville Baptist Church, the people of God sharing God's love because God's love changes the world.
Citizens Bank and Trust Company serves the Taylor County area with 3 convenient locations. Our online and mobile options can make your banking experience even easier, with features such as digital wallet, Touch ID login with our mobile app, and online deposits. Mobile banking also gives you the online control of your Citizens Bank debit card, Along with our banking locations, we also offer a no-charge ATM in the Student Commons on the campus of Campbellsville University. Citizens Bank and Trust in Campbellsville. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Whether you're 2 or 102, the Tigerville Grill has something for you. Take advantage of the Build Your Own Burger menu. In the mood for something small? Choose one of the many delicious slider options. Call ahead and use our fast and easy drive-thru. Oh, that cool freestyle fountain drink machine? We've still got it. The Tigerville Grill, located at 314 North Columbia Avenue and open to the public 11 to 8 daily.
Welcome back, Tiger fans. The Perry Thomas Show here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we visit with the head coach of Fighting Tiger football, Perry Thomas. The Tigers moving to 6-0 on the season after that win this past weekend at Ave Maria down in Florida, and Campbellsville vaults in the polls a little bit, Coach, and we've talked about it, something that you kind of, it's part of the process. It's something that has to happen over the course of these remaining few weeks, and season high number 20 in the poll this week for the Tigers.
Yeah, great recognition for our guys. You know, we were beginning the year totally out of the sight of the pollsters, and you know, to be number 20 now is a great spot for us. It gives us opportunity, you know, with a couple of more wins to really move up there high. You know, the great thing about our division, even though it's so difficult, but the great thing about it is if you're winning, you're going to be ranked high because you're playing really good football teams. So it's great for us to get that recognition. I think there's 9 undefeated NAIA teams left playing in the country, and 3 of them are in our division. You know, 4 in our league, actually. So 3 in our division, and we're one of those teams. And 20th in the country is a good spot to be in.
We'll take a look at the standings from the Bluegrass Division as we enter play here down the home stretch. 3 weeks left of the regular season. Lindsey Wilson leading the way. They're 3-0 in conference play, 7-0 overall. They're 5th in the country. Campbellsville there, you see 20th in the country, 3-0, 6-0 overall. Georgetown and Campbellsville with identical records to this point, 3-0, 6-0 for Georgetown. And Cumberland University, they've already played 9 games, Coach, which seems like a ton compared to just the 6 for the Tigers of both Georgetown and Campbellsville. Cumberland at 22, they had a tough loss this weekend at Lindsey. They're 2-2 in conference, 6-3 as we mentioned. And then Bethel, Kentucky Christian, and Cincinnati Christian there at the bottom of the conference. But it's kind of wild in the division. You've got 4 ranked teams. Cumberland has kind of been on the short end of the stick in both of their matchups with Lindsey and Georgetown. And you mentioned in the broadcast, Georgetown and Lindsey with that win over Cumberland now, they kind of have a leg up on the rest of the conference with that big win over a ranked opponent. Yeah,
you know, Cumberland actually stayed at 22nd after losing to Georgetown this past weekend. And you know, it's because 2 of their losses is to the 9th ranked team in the country and the 5th ranked team in the country. So they're quality losses, and they were competitive games with those teams. Lost to 3 by Lindsey this past weekend. So, you know, it's a tough division. Lindsey and Georgetown right now would be a little bit ahead of everyone because they've beaten the 22nd ranked team. We'll have our opportunity this weekend to get in that mix. And, you know, in these last 3 weeks, it's some combination we're all going to play. And which is a good thing because it's going to come down to these last 3 weeks to decide who the divisional champion is.
And I often like to kind of use the term, you control your own destiny. All 3 of those top 3 teams control their own destiny. If Campbellsville wins out, you're going to the playoffs, you're going to be a divisional champion. Same thing for Georgetown, same thing for Lindsey. So you know there's a lot on the line. It begins this week, I guess, for the Tigers in terms of all 3 of those final 3 games are against ranked opponents. And this could go any way. You could have somebody being undefeated. You could have a 3-way tie. I mean, this could really get kind of crazy down the stretch.
Yeah, it really could. And it's important that, you know, from our standpoint, we need to win. I'm sure the other coaches are saying that also. But with Georgetown and Lindsey being 2 top 10 teams, you know, if you come down to a 3-way tie or something, then the higher ranked team is going to get the nod. So if you come down to a 2-way tie, it's going to be the head-to-head deal. So, you know, we need to go in and take care of our business. We need to win out so we can, you know, advance up those polls. And at least if you go into that last game undefeated, you know, you'll be higher ranked. So if it comes down to something, you'll have a chance. So it's going to be a battle. All 3 teams control their destiny. Cumberland can still throw a monkey wrench in there. We still have to play them, so they can still throw a monkey wrench in there in the chase. So we got 3 big games ahead of us, and we're excited about it. Though, you know, our guys are ready to play those teams. When we came back off the layoff, obviously we wasn't ready to play. But, now I think we're ready to play them, and it's just a matter of getting better and every day and going out Saturday and figuring out how we can get the win.
The schedule has been a real pain, I guess, this season for the Tigers, and weather has played a huge factor in that. But one positive when you look at that schedule now, Coach, is you get Georgetown at home, Cumberland at home, and then on the road to Lindsay, basically at home the rest of the year. You don't have a long road trip. That last game is an away game at Columbia, but it's 25 minutes up the road, so that's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. Our fans can come watch us play, so we'll have, obviously it's the 2 home games, and one of them being homecoming. We'll have huge crowds at those. And then with Lindsey Wilson right down the road and it being a rival, there'll be a nice crowd for us there. No big travels for our guys. We're not on buses for a couple of days. We're sleeping in our own beds at night. Our preparation time increases because we're not traveling. So it's great that the schedule finished up this way. Last weekend was supposed to have been an open week, and with the rescheduling of the game, it threw a little wrench in there. But it's great that the schedule is going to finish up this way, and it's great that our fans are going to get to come see us play. We're a quality football team, and no matter what goes on these last 3 weeks, and obviously our thoughts are we're going to win. But no matter what goes on, this team has really bounced back from that 2-8 year last year, and guaranteed to win this season. And now we're actually fighting for our 3rd divisional title in 3 years, which is a promising thing.
And the Tigers will do that this weekend. They'll start that game against Georgetown College as you pick up down the stretch there. And Coach, it's a big weekend. You mentioned homecoming on campus. Also next week, one thing that we enjoy spending time with you about, the Fall Festival, the annual Fall Festival, kind of began a few years ago, and it's really since taken off. And I know that the guys look forward to it. The student athletes on campus look forward to it. They'll dress up. That's going to be Monday night, October 30th at Finley Stadium, 6 p.m. So the community, obviously you're involved to come out and partake in this event with CU Athletics, but it's just a really fun time to kind of let your hair down a little bit, Coach.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great opportunity for the parents to bring their kids to a safe environment. To get some candy and play games. The student athletes here all get involved, and they dress up in different themes. From each sport, has their own theme that they'll choose. And, it's nothing scary. It's just fun, exciting stuff. And we have games set up like football, do a football toss, and we'll have candy. I think football's dressing up as superheroes, and I think I heard that softball's dressing up as emojis, and every team has something going on. So it's a great environment. It really is. It'll be October 30th, as you said, 6 to 8 over at Finley Stadium, and it's free of charge. Come out. This is the 5th year of it, actually. I think last year we had over 2,500 kids to come out and enjoy it. So I'm sure it's going to be packed. If it's weather issues, we'll go to the Horde Indoor facility and do it in there, which I think our first year we had to do it in there, and it went really well. So we're excited about it. Like you said, it's a chance for them to get away from their studies a little bit. It's a chance for them to get away from their sport and the preparation and the weight room and all that, and just to lay back for a couple of hours and dress goofy and have fun.
And it's always interesting. You go back and look at some of the photos. Some of the biggest smiles are from the 18 to 22-year-olds who are having fun, not necessarily the kids. Those student athletes really love it.
Oh yeah, they adore you. I mean, it's just a phenomenal event. It really is. Our athletic director Jim Hardy started this thing, and it's really grown. And like you said, those student athletes, some of them dread that type of stuff until they actually get involved doing it, and they realize how much enjoyment and they get from giving back like that and interacting with those youngsters.
The Tigers will do that. That will take place, the Fall Festival, that is, on October 30th. That's Monday night, right after the homecoming weekend. The student athletes will be there at Finley Stadium, 6 to 8 p.m. We'll step away, come back, and we'll get the head coach's thoughts on this matchup coming, this top 20 matchup with Georgetown College here on Saturday. Stay with us on the Perry Thomas Show.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
Grandpa, famous for dropping a line. Lee's, famous for chicken. Fall into a deal this autumn at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $5.99. Take flavor and value to a whole new level with a cup of our Spicy Jumbo Dippers, a side, a biscuit, and a regular drink, all for an amazing price. It's a deal that's easy to fall for. Make fall value season at Lee's with our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extends beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus, preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, please visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
Thanks for staying with us, Tiger fans, here on the Perry Thomas Show on the Campbellsville University Sports Network, Comcast Cable Channel 10, as well as 88.7 The Tiger. Matt Payton and the head coach of Fighting Tiger Football. Perry Thomas visiting now as the coach and the Tigers move their focus on to Georgetown. Homecoming week for the Tigers. It's a familiar foe in Georgetown, but it is a team that you've not seen in a few years. Right. And always good to know that the last time these teams squared off, the Tigers pulled out a big win at home. Yeah, no doubt. It was a big game for us in a big season. It was a year we knocked off 2 or 3 teams that were in the top 5. I think they were 4th at the time we played them early in the year. We wasn't ranked, and it led us into a great season. And I'm sure that they're reminding them of that also. So it's we know we have our work cut out for us. Georgetown's always Georgetown. They're always well coached, well talented. Do things right and physical, and they know what they're doing, and they're accustomed to winning as a program. Traditionally, they're accustomed to winning, so they're going to do a great job in coming here ready to play. So we know we have to be focused on the guts and fundamentals and ready to get the win. As if the rivalry isn't enough, Coach, it's a top 20 matchup. Mm-hmm. Georgetown holding steady at 9th in the country. The Tigers have moved up to a season high 20th in the NAIA polls. There's a lot on the line for both teams. How do you separate that sometimes? It's homecoming, it's a top 20 matchup, playoffs. Just to break it down as simply as go play the game. Yeah, we really just focus on what our goals are. We really do. We don't focus on the rankings. We don't focus on the homecoming and all of that stuff. We focus on, we want to be divisional champions. And if we want to be divisional champions and go to the playoffs, we need to beat Georgetown. It's that simple. We don't get fired up per se because it's Georgetown or any of those things. I'm sure our guys look at that stuff, but our focus is on this is the playoffs. The playoffs have started for us now. And in order for us to get to the playoffs, we need to be divisional champions. It's that simple because of where we are in the rankings. We're not going to get there as an at-large with one loss because we need to move up in those rankings. So we need to be divisional champions. And so the playoffs will start for us, and that's our total focus. And that's kind of how we focus on games. And the guys come prepared to prepare as that. The Tigers and Georgetown both 6-0 as we take a look at the tail of the tape between the two clubs here. Both teams coming in with perfect 6-0 records on the season. The Tigers in total in the scoring column have put up about 280 points. Georgetown around 219. You start to look at some of those numbers, Coach, and the game is kind of, when you look at it on paper, maybe features a strength on strength with right. Campbellsville's offense and Georgetown's defense. That's not to take anything away from the other groups on the field. Those sometimes are the easiest numbers to scout. But, it appears that the Tiger offense, the Georgetown defense is going to be a really fun matchup throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of the rankings on offense and defense both ways kind of offset each other a little bit. Their rushing defense and our rushing ability, and our pass defense, our passing, and vice versa. It's kind of closely matched in a lot of ways. The thing that they have on there is that they've played a Faulkner team and they played Cumberland University team, and we haven't played those teams. But it's going to be interesting to see some of the head-to-head matchups that go on throughout the game. They're a very good football team. Defensively, they play outstanding defense. Well, I think we have a very good offense, and we're able to move the ball and get some things done. And I think our defense now is rated in the top 10 and 20 in a lot of areas now.
Same thing with their offense. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, and it's just going to come down to who plays with guts and fundamentals and who makes the least amount of mistakes. Ball security, penalties, all those type of things will factor.
And Coach, as we get set, let's talk about that Georgetown offense, the Georgetown defense. What do we expect to see out of that club this week?
Yeah, I mean, offensively they're going to come out and run their typical stuff. They'll run some two-back sets where they I call their bingo set, where they'll go some heavy unbalanced looks and so forth, and they're going to run and throw out of that, and then they're going to go spread on you. And the tough part when they're getting spread is that quarterback is mobile. He's an athletic quarterback, so if you get out of rush lanes, kind of like the Faulkner kid a few years ago, he can hurt you running the football. Defensively, they're going to base out of a three-man look a lot of times and sometimes in a four, and going to get some pressure after you. Very active in the secondary. We talk about B.J. Pelt for us being number one in the country, I think, in interceptions, but, they have a guy that's in that top 3 or 4 also. So they're real good at securing the ball on defense and getting after you. So it's going to be a tough battle both ways. They have their work cut out for them, and we have our work cut out for us.
If we're sitting here next week and we're talking about a Tiger victory, would you say it comes down to ball security? What would be the most important thing for you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of who's the most aggressive team and who secures the ball the best, and the penalties also. I think both of that, penalties and ball security in big games make a big difference. You either have to be able to overcome those obstacles or you have to eliminate them. And hopefully that we're going to go in there and secure the ball. But I think the winner of the game will be the team that has the least amount of mistakes.
Coach, best of luck to you guys this
Thank
weekend.
you.
Perry Thomas and the Tigers take the field Saturday afternoon. It's a 2:01 kickoff. That's Finley Standard Time for the Tigers. That's paying homage to the great Ron Finley here at Campbellsville University. A 2:01 kickoff. The Tiger Tailgate Show will begin at 1:30 as the number 20 ranked Tigers host number 9 Georgetown for homecoming. Thanks to Perry Thomas for joining us this week. We'll see you next week on the Perry Thomas Show.
My name is James C. Miller III, and I started to work at Taylor County Bank on July 1st, 1960. The bank was started because during the crash, the banks here failed, or at least one of them did. So there was a need for an additional bank in Taylor County. But the thing about our bank is this, that we had an old slogan back then. First in service, first in safety, first in convenience, and that's what we've always tried to do, and I think we still do.
Campbellsville University Cosmetology teaches beauty inside and out. The cosmetology students at CU receive salon experience while learning in a contemporary environment from faculty who have worked in the industry. With areas of study ranging from hairstyling to salon management, Campbellsville University Cosmetology can help you turn your passion into a profession. Kickstart your cosmetology career today. Visit campbellsville.edu/cosmetology.